Welcome back. 2 Iranian drones targeting the U.S. Embassy in Riyadh overnight in Saudi. No injuries have been reported, while the Israeli military says it is hitting Hezbollah targets in Beirut. President Trump says the U.S. is ahead of schedule in Iran. As CENTCOM confirms, 11 Iranian ships were destroyed in the Gulf of Oman. Fox News chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Tel Aviv with the very latest there. Trey.
Maria, good morning. The Iranians are responding with ballistic missile launches toward Israel throughout the day. But we know overnight Israeli forces entered southern Lebanon to bring the fight against Hezbollah. They say this is done in a defensive posture to ensure that Hezbollah cannot launch more on-the-ground cross-border attacks. And given the fact that Iran's largest proxy is now involved in the fight, the Israelis are going after new targets in the Lebanese capital of Beirut, striking strong in the Dakhya neighborhood in the southern part of the city. We have a new statement from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who spoke overnight with Sean Hannity.
They started building new sites, new places, underground bunkers that would make their ballistic missile program and their atomic bomb program immune within months. If no action was taken now, no action could be taken in the future.
Clearly, the prime minister was warning against the Iranian regime and their ability to use not only these proxies, but also their missile program to threaten U.S. forces and allies across the region. And overnight, 2 Iranian drones slamming into the U.S. embassy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, another indication of the threat that Iran poses against Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, the UAE, and Qatar. Vice President J.D. Vance giving new updates on this operation timeline overnight.
There's just no way that Donald Trump is going to allow this country to get into a multi-year conflict with no clear end in sight and no clear objective. He's defined that objective as Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and has to commit long-term to never trying to rebuild their nuclear capability.
A senior Israeli official tells Fox News that 1,000 enemy combatants have been killed since this joint Israeli-U.S. operation began. Maria?
Trey, how does it feel on the ground there in Tel Aviv in terms of the backdrop and everyday life?
It's tense on the ground. Israeli civilians are in and out of bomb shelters. There are 10 million people here, and they're spending the majority of days underground or in safe rooms because of this ballistic missile threat. We've seen even today, Maria, interceptions taking place overhead in Israel's second largest city of Tel Aviv. They do expect this fire to continue, but as the Israelis and Americans go after these launching positions, the threat will be reduced in the days ahead.
All right, Trey, we'll be watching your work. Thanks very much. Stay safe, Trey Yingst. Joining me now is Iranian-American journalist Masih Alinejad. Masih, thanks very much for being here this morning. And I know that you know firsthand the threats that the Iranian regime can make. Your life was threatened at least 3 times by the government and the Iranian regime. Your reaction to what you're seeing here in terms of your fellow Iranian-Americans and here and abroad?
Maria, thank you so much for having me back to your show. You remember when I was in your show, I asked President Trump to take decisive action to remove terrorists. This is the best decision that we have ever seen by the United States of America. This is the true leadership. This is the reaction of my people in Iran. You know, for the first time when I heard Ali Khamenei was killed, I was bombarded with different emotions, like millions of Iranians. For many who hear me, your audience in America, maybe this is a story of like miles away from America, but this is my life story. Ali Khamenei ordered my killings 3 times. This is the guy who ordered massacre. More than 32,000 people have been killed. We lost everything: our homeland, our freedom, our family members, our safety. And
right.
That's the right decision to remove terrorists. But I have to say, I am tired of seeing some politicians here in America, especially Democrats, making this about their own politics, scoring political points like Kamala Harris. Suddenly, she kept quiet about the massacre. Suddenly, she found a voice condemning the targeted military strike against the killers. So when ordinary people get massacred, you don't have any problem? Who are you?
And of course, we heard John Fetterman, who is a Democrat, who has stood up taller than anybody there, to say enough with the politics. He fully supports President Trump in this operation. But you're right. Democrats across the country have been slamming the president and the move to strike Iran. Listen to California Congressman Eric Swalwell. Watch this.
Again, I don't sense that they had any idea what they were doing, and they showed nothing to the American people as to any threat posed to the United States or any imminent threat posed to our allies who are in the region. I see a president who is quite distracted.
I'm not surprised by Eric Swalwell, given the fact that he is a friend to China. And probably is upset that China is getting cut off in some ways from the oil. New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani also coming out against the operation, writing on X that these strikes, quote, mark a catastrophic escalation in what he's calling an illegal war of aggression, bombing cities, killing civilians, Masih. On Sunday, Columbia University's apartheid divest group also posted death to America in Persian on X before deleting the post. Your reaction there?
You're giving me a heart attack. You're really giving me a heart attack by reading all these messages. I don't even, I left my beloved homeland, Iran, to feel safe in America. I don't feel safe in New York anymore when people like Zohran Mamdani sympathizing with my would-be assassins, with the killers of thousands of innocent, unarmed people. He's like a child, honestly. He doesn't have any political experience. He is not entitled. I mean, he is entitled to his feelings. All the Democrats, they are entitled to their feeling. But here is the fact. Islamic Republic is a threat, not just to the people of Iran, to the people in the region. They are the greatest sponsor of terrorism. Zohran Mamdani, you didn't even dare to condemn Hamas. You actually sympathized with Hamas, and you brainwashed the youth in America. This is a narrative, the war between two narratives. Ayatollahs are spending billions of dollars to brainwash the youth in America. I want to go and talk to them. I want to take the women who actually have one eye because they were shot in their eyes by the same Islamic Republic.
My goodness.
So I want to take them to the anti-war uprising.
If you can believe this one, yesterday Mamdani urged Americans to look to Islam and the Prophet Muhammad to justify mass migration.
Maria, I get killed. I get killed if I...
For your hair. For your hair.
Look, this hair can get me killed, Zohran Mamdani.
But let me... I know that, and it's absolutely disgusting, Masih, but let me get your take on where the people are in terms of Iran next steps. I spoke with His Royal Highness, the former Crown Prince, Reza Pahlavi, about the choice for new leadership in Iran, and I want to get your take on whether or not he is the one that people want, or are they reluctant to go back to potentially another monarchy? Here's Prince Reza Pahlavi with me Sunday. Watch.
This campaign is this time something not just to set back the Iranian nuclear program or anything like that. This is like full decapitation of the regime, and ultimately what will expedite its total collapse. As soon as the transition plan is put into gear, we want to make sure that we address the issue immediately, to make sure that we have the ability to have a stable process, to obviously lead to ultimately a democratic outcome, so the Iranian people get to choose their future government and system. We have the most diverse coalition of people dedicated to that process, representing different parts of the country, including religious minorities, ethnic groups that are all aligned in this national project that we have. From the time that we start until the day we can have the final referendum, I anticipate a period that should not be longer than a couple of years at the most. But what's critical is the first 100 days to immediately stabilize the country.
Masih, a lot of people forget what life was like before 1979 when his family was taken out by the Khamenei regime. Women were walking around free. The country was free before 1979. But today, do you believe the people are with Reza Pahlavi?
The Islamic Republic, the Islamic Revolution became a revolution against women, against minority. Sorry, I'm losing my voice because I have been screaming out of joy when I saw Ali Khamenei was dead. So I want to say that Mr. Pahlavi announced that he is all about fair and free election. I have sacrificed my life to be the voice of Iranians inside the country.
Yes.
And I want to stick with the fact, yes, Iranians, some of them, they name him. Iran is bigger than Mr. Pahlavi. He is critics as well, but I think he can take the lead and invite the diverse Iran to create a political united front to bring all the leaders from Europe, America together to meet with all the opposition leaders to have a transition from dictatorship to democracy. Then fair and free election is the dream of millions of Iranians.
Of course, and we hope that this actually materializes. Masih, thank you very much for coming in today. Masih Alinejad, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Maria.
We'll be right back.